Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we have count them, 8 new Kaisers to take a look at. These are all the new Kaisers for September, and let me tell you guys, this is one of the more epic, diverse drops I've ever seen come from Kaiser, and it has some of my more favorite designs in recent memory. One of them is an absolute all-time favorite for me already. I've already had these knives for probably 2 weeks now, so this is going to be more of somewhat of an actual review and not so much an unboxing, as my impressions have already kind of sunk in on these knives. So I have a decent amount of input to give you guys, and I think it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what to expect from each of these models. So what's really cool about this drop is Kaiser did something a little different, at least from the way I'm looking at it. This drop has multiple tiers of knives. We have like kind of a super budget series, a mid-tier, still somewhat budgety, but like right around that $100 price range series. And then we have kind of more their premiums, which for Kaisers are still not a really big number in terms of a premium price. So this is a really, really sweet lineup, and we're gonna go in order of the budgets to the mid-tier to the premiums. And boy, oh boy, these premiums for this month, guys, are absolute bangers. 2 of the better premiums to come from Kaiser this year. 2 of my favorite 3 from the entire year are in this drop. And without any more talking and more of these hands, let's get into it and take a look at what we got here. First up, let's introduce the brand new series from Kaiser, and this is the L series. Now, the L series is a budget-based series of knives focusing on simplicity and utility. In other words, they're intended to be great beater knives, not necessarily collectible knives, knives that you can carry around and just really put hard, crazy, careless use on and not worry if something happens to them. It really has that hard focus on just simple to use and not worrying about getting them all scratched up and dinged up. So these are 3 of the 4 models. There's actually one more called the Seahorse, which is a 3-inch blade that I wasn't sent. But these are the ones I have. And I gotta say, 2 of the 3 I really, really like. Let's just go in order of how I have them here. This one here actually happens to be my personal favorite of this group. This is the Swedge. And as you can see, it's very simple. None of the L series I think are really gonna like knock your socks off in terms of innovation or like crazy out there design. Again, these are just simple little pocket knives that are coming in at very reasonable prices. What the L series also is, to kind of put it in more layman's terms for people, it's kind of like Kaiser's answer to the Sencut lineup. In all honesty, whether they want to admit it or not, I think this is very much an answer to the Sencut series from Wee Knife Company, which is great. You know, Sencut needs some competition, and I gotta say, my overall thought of the L series is good, but they got a little work to do to catch up to Sencut, who is absolutely dominating the $40-ish budget knife range as of right now. But I also wasn't really high on Sencut when they first came out, so it took Sencut a while to get to where they are, and I think that's going to be the same for the L series. But I will say I think this is a fantastic first round of knives. The Swedge is coming in at 7.95 inches with a blade length at 3.43 inches and a handle length at 4.53 inches. All of the L series so far is using 9CR18 MOV, which is also very similar to the Sencut lineup. This here is 3.49 ounces and a price of $47. So it's still it's a few dollars higher than Sencuts. A lot of the Sencuts are coming in around $35 to $45. So, you know, a few bucks extra, but again, you know, this is the very first round of knives from the lineup. I'm really excited to see what they come up with in the months ahead, because this is a very solid knife. It's got great ergos. I like the brown G10. You don't see a lot of brown G10, and I really like that, especially paired with that black wash. That's really, really good. I don't know if this would be considered maybe like a coyote tan or whatever, but I kind of look at it as like an earth or a light brown, something like that. Very, very nice. Dare I say it, pretty buttery smooth action on this guy for a $47 knife. Very, very nice. Carries nice, just a very average, typical pocket knife. And again, this is something for Kaiser fans that want to, spend even less. Maybe you buy a lot of Kaisers in that $69 to $89 range. Well, here's something for 20 bucks less. So it's a nice offering, and you still get that Kaiser quality, all the good action and detent. The Swedge is my personal favorite from this lineup so far. But then you also have the Amicus. And this one here is a very nice little button lock knife for someone that wants to stay under that 3-inch blade length range. We have an overall length of 6.85 inches with a blade length at 2.95 inches and a handle length at 3.9 inches, 9CR 18 MOV steel, 2.79 ounces, and a price of, again, $47. So, take that for whatever you think it's worth. $47, I think, is a reasonable price for these. Again, because you do still have that great Kaiser action. The one thing I would like to see, again, I'll say it again, on Kaiser flipper button locks or flippers in general, I'd like to see more of that fine jimping here. You got the rounded, maybe you can see this one a little better. You have just those two little jimping lines, which is okay. I mean, you can flip it out pretty easy, but I really, really think it needs more of a finer jimping all the way around the curvature of the flipper. And that would make wonders because while I can still flip it out actually rather easy, I am seeing every once in a while to where I'll have kind of that slipping motion. So I would like to see better jimping on them. I don't care what the price range is. When it comes to flippers, the devil's in the details and making that action as good as it can possibly be. Because the detent's nice, the knife is nice, but it could use a little better jimping there. That's my only real knock on this knife. But I really do like the size. I like the extra kind of width of the knife in general. Got a little wider blade, a little wider handle. Maybe a little area there to choke up, but I think maybe here is best. But yeah, you can definitely do that. Just gotta be careful. Got your nice typical Kaiser deep carry clip. And yeah, these are very solid knives. I really do like these. Again, there's nothing super special to them, but for $47 and Kaiser quality, yeah, they're pretty good. Don't have anything to really knock on them outside of that jimping that I think could be improved. And last up here, we have the Kizer Yacht. And this is the one, while it does have very nice flipping action, pretty easy to push button, the design just doesn't really do much for me. It looks like something that's been designed a couple times before. No real immediate knives to compare it to, but it just doesn't do anything for me. Feels okay in hand. There's actually nothing I dislike about it from a quality and action standpoint. Typical Kaiser, very good. Some knives just, you look at them and you're like, oh, okay. I feel like this is a knife that could have been designed 7 years ago. Maybe it was, and it's just a general kind of shape. Nothing super special. This guy is a couple dollars less. It's $45. 7.09 inches in overall length, 2.99 blade length with a 4.09 handle length, and of course, 9CR 18 MOV and 2.86 ounces. So yeah, I can't say I get too excited about this one. It's kind of just another model in the lineup for me. But the Swedge and the Amicus are both two great designs to get the L series off to, I think, a really good start. It's going to be very interesting to see down the road how this series compares to the Suncut lineup. And I can guarantee you, I will absolutely be doing a comparison series months and months down the road. I gotta give the L series time to really get caught up and get more models out, because it would not be fair to really compare the L series to Suncut yet. But that is coming. So let's get these out of the way. That's the L series. Let me know what you guys think of that. Put down here. I do think it's a very good start to the series, and I'm excited to see what's coming. But now let's get into the mid-tier, because this mid-tier lineup packs some serious heat in just really one knife, but they actually sent me two knives, so I'm going to feature both of them. First up here is this guy, which you saw in a previous unboxing, but it was the purple one. They finally got some of the black handle with the satin or combo blades done out of production, so they sent me one to check out. And man, oh man, whoo, if you didn't like the sheepdog already, this clutch lock may be the game changer for someone that's still looking for that perfect sheepdog. We are looking at an overall length of 7.59 inches with a blade length at 3.14 inches and a handle length at 4.45 inches. Of course, you have 154 cm blade steel, which is what you see on all those Kaiser mid-tiers, which is a great steel to go with in that price range. 4.76 ounces, and $119. So it's a little over that $100 mark, but man, oh man, this, I'm trying to figure out, because I really do still have very strong feelings for just the blade cutout liner lock sheepdog, which I do still really like this, and this is considerably less. I want to say this is like $79, I think. Very nice there, but there is really a big difference in the feel and hand with this clutch lock, and I love how the fit and finish on these aluminum handles. I love the chamfering on the sides, the typical lines, everything. This knife has a little extra stealthy vibes to it as compared to all the other sheepdogs. I think some of it may be kind of just a little fuller there going up the blade, but the other sheepdog it doesn't have that extra zing that the clutch lock brings to it. And the aluminum scales do give it a little more rigidity and toughness in the handle, which is very nice. And I love the two-tone blade. The bead, I think this is bead blasted. Yeah, it kind of looks like bead blasted or glass blasted grinds with satin flats. Very, very nice. That is kind of like the extra little touch that elevates this knife for me. You have that nice choilish area down here, so you can really get your finger up for that detail work or any kind of fine cuts you need to make. The clutch lock is awesome as always, and that middle finger flicking action is very, very nice. Whether you want to do the cutout or the thumb stud, that's very nice. Thumb stud's great. And of course, you have that typical great clutch lock action. The clutch lock sheepdog is a fantastic one. Arguably the best sheepdog in series, the best sheepdog model in the lineup of all the sheepdogs. Let me know what you guys think of this one. Let me know if you do prefer this over the other sheepdogs, because I know that the sheepdog with the liner lock and blade cutout has been a very, very popular model, and I'm very interested to see how this stacks up to that one in everyone else's opinion. So please let me know. But this guy is available, and of course, all these knives are going to be linked. They're going to be linked to Kaiser's website, which is where they're dropping tonight. I know some of these models you're going to see have been available at other retailers, but this is going to be the first time they're available at Kaiser's website for the exact same price as retailers. You're not paying anything extra, so please keep that in mind. That's very important to know. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they're more expensive on the actual manufacturer's website. Not the case today. All the prices you see are going to be retail prices, which is awesome. I love that. I wish everyone would do that. I don't like seeing the price differences on the manufacturer's website. I get why they do it. I understand. But it makes it a lot easier for me to direct you guys to where I know you're going to get the best price and you're not going to overpay somewhere. So I like that. And I'm always watching that for you guys. So that is the clutch lock sheepdog. Now this one will be linked to Blade HQ because this is currently not in stock on Kaiser, but I do know they are available at Blade HQ. And these are actually available right now. Everything else is going to be dropping at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Probably should have said that at the beginning of the video because I know you guys are probably fast forwarding some of this because I tend to ramble sometimes. I get that. Sorry, that's just what I do. Next up in the mid-tier lineup is a banger. And I love this version of this knife. This is the Kaiser Clipper. And as you guys have seen, there's another model of this out already that is black micarta with a black wash blade. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great knife, and it's actually $20 less. This guy here is coming in at $98. And it's the same size, 7.28 inches in overall length, 3.15 inch blade length with a 4.13 inch handle length. We have 3.32 ounces in weight, designed by Tim Kingsford. But this guy's coming in at $98. So what makes this a $98 knife compared to the other version that is, I believe, $78? Well, first, it's the blade steel. We got 3V on the blade steel, which is kind of comparable to S35V end. It has similar properties, not the exact same steel, of course, but very similar. So it's a great steel, definitely more of a high-end steel. I don't know if I'd call it premium, but it is definitely more of a high-end steel. Aluminum scales, which give it a great amount of toughness and rigidity. And of course, these brass or bronze accents that really make this knife a fantastic gentleman's carry, in my opinion. Front flippers, I think, always make a really good gentleman's carry. And when you have that black and bronze like that, that is just a match made in heaven for someone that's just wearing slacks and kind of trying to keep it clean and classy. This is an excellent option. This Clipper design is becoming one of my favorite front flippers, not just of this year. I would probably put this maybe in the top 15 of my all-time favorite front flippers. I love the blade shape. I love the front flipper tab. It's very, very accessible while also being minimal. They have perfect jimping for once. You know, Kaiser, as you've seen earlier in the video, they can be a little inconsistent with the quality of jimping sometimes. They really nailed this. I mean, it is just an absolute perfect amount of jimping, and the blade flies out. It's a nice, easy, neutral handle shape that fits great in hand, jimping on the spine. This is just a phenomenal little carry. It is great. It's one of my favorite knives of the year, to be honest, and I'm always surprised to say that because, like I said before, the clipper kind of came out of nowhere. So now it's available in 2 versions, and this one is quite easily my favorite, and yeah, you may see this one a little later in the year because, in my opinion, it's an absolute home run. Now we're getting to the premiums. And these two, one of them I had no idea was in the works. I didn't know it was a thing. The other one, I knew it was coming, and I was still surprised by it because I handled this one at Blade Show, and I really liked it. But at Blade Show, when things get handled, sometimes they get handled too much. The pivot collar can get loose, the knife gets a beating, and it's not quite a true example of what the finished product will be, especially when they're prototypes. But I got one of these, I got it in hand, and I gotta say, this is the Kaiser Mystic, a Paul Munko design, and this is everything I handled at Blade Show and better. This thing is incredible. For Kaiser's premiums, guys, let's talk about this because Kaiser's premiums are a little different than all the other big boys' premiums because the price they come at isn't exactly a premium price, even though you are most definitely getting a premium knife. Let's take a look at some specs on this guy. We have an overall length of 8.78 inches, a blade length coming in at 3.74 inches, and a handle length of 5.04 inches. Rex 45 on the blade steel. Rex 45. I can't remember ever seeing Rex 45 on a premium Chinese produced knife. I've seen it on Spyderco's, and come to think of it, Spyderco's are really the only other brand I remember seeing Rex 45 on. If there's something else, let me know, but this is the first for me, and I've never owned a knife with the Rex 45. The little amount of research I've done on it, it seems like a very tough steel. I thought this was a little more prone to corrosion, but apparently it's stainless. I got to look a little more into that. Let me know if you guys, do me a huge favor. If you know a lot about Rex 45, please let me know. I'm going to look into it, but I would love to hear your experiences with it if you've ever had a knife with Rex 45 before. Handle material is titanium and micarta in all the best ways. We'll talk more about that here in a second. Designed by my buddy Paul Munko. I met him at Blade Show, had a good talk with him. He's just a great dude, very down to earth, real creative person. It really, I think we have a decent amount of things in common. He was just a great guy, great designer, and this, I think, might be his best work yet. He's got a few really good designs out, just like the Clairvoyant that came out earlier this year, which I also really like, but it's really hard to beat this Mystic. This really is a home run of a design for all the reasons, really. For the ergos, for the blade. It's just fantastic. And the price is maybe the best thing about it. You're getting titanium, micarta, Rex 45, this killer design for $169. I mean, that, and the detail in this knife for $169 is, again, it's one of the best of the year in terms of value. I mean, this is up there. Even though it's a $169 knife, I would put it right up there with the Kunru Padre that you just saw recently on my channel in terms of best value because it's just great. You got that nice beveling on the lock bar. You got a micarta pivot collar, which is very, very nice, that matches the inlay, or not the inlay, but the onlay of micarta in the handle with kind of the bolster look going on. It is excellent. The fit and finish is good. There's no fraying micarta anywhere on the sides here. This is going to patina amazingly well. Very nice pocket clip. It's milled. It's different. It carries good in the pocket. Of course, you get an excellent lineup. I wouldn't expect anything less from Kaiser in the lockup department. And man, oh man, look at this. And the story behind it is really cool too. The design's inspired from a whaling harpoon gun. And can you not see that? I mean, even if you don't know what a harpoon gun looks like, just the blade shape alone screams. It's got the harpoon. It's got those little nice, aggressive, but elegant lines. And it's named after the Mystic Seaport in Connecticut, which is where Paul's from. So there's a good story behind it. There's a lot of originality to it. It's just a complete package. It really is fantastic. I love the bigger blade, and the bigger design in general fits my hands very good. And if you have big hands, you're going to love this knife. The thumb studs are great. The only one thing that I wish would have been a little different, and I'm going to sound like I'm beating a dead horse now, but while I can front flip it pretty well, I think this knife would have benefited from a little tighter jimping. Maybe jimping like what you saw on the clipper here. You see how much wider the jimping is on the front of the Mystic? It's not bad, but there's something about this corner. So when you're going to front flip a knife, you want to get as close as you can to the top up here to easily pop the blade out. And the problem is if you get too close to the kind of the point, which is right here, it's very easy for your thumb to slide up because of the space of the jimping, and that section right there is just a little wider than it really should be. I wish the jimping was like twice as fine as it is. Like, again, just a tighter jimping pattern, I think would have really done the front flipper wonders on this. Now, even with that little issue, I can still front flip this knife pretty easy. It's not as easy as the clipper. The clipper is like effortless. I don't have to think about it. Sometimes I have to be sure where I'm placing my thumb on this to front flip the blade. But as you can see, I've done it now 3 times in a row with no issue. There's 4 times. So not the end of the world, but that was the one little bit of critique I can add, but there's really not a whole lot to critique on this knife. It's one you just put in the pocket and enjoy. Beautiful blade, great handle. Everything about it is very unique. Really, really like that. And I wouldn't expect anything less from Paul because that's one creative man right there. So awesome, awesome design from Munko Designs, and another fantastic offering from Kaiser. A premium, but not exactly a premium price. That's what I like to see. That's awesome. And last up, in all honesty, this is probably the one that impressed me the most, is this one right here, the Militar. This is a Jonathan Styles design, and this, in my opinion, is quite easily the best design yet from Jonathan Styles. I love the balance and geometry of this knife. Not just in blade shape, but in just overall design. This thing is so clean and refined, but it's also kind of got some futuristic vibes to it with the lines and the way the micarta inlays in the handle. This thing is so sweet. We are looking at an overall length of 7.99 inches, a blade length of 3.35 inches, and a handle length at 4.65 inches. Steel on this guy is S35VN, which you can't go wrong with S35VN. Can you do better? I mean, of course, at this point in the knife industry and all the new steels, yes, you can do better, but do you really need to do better sometimes? Like, S35VN is just solid. It's solid, and premium. It's still a great steel. Titanium in micarta as well, but as you can see, in a very different way from what you saw in the Mystic. 3.92 ounces in weight, as I said before, an absolute banger from Jonathan Styles, and a price. This is $10 less than the Mystic. This is $159. These prices from Kaiser are just awesome. You get so much quality, so much fantastic action, and some of the best designs for almost half the price as some of these other premium manufacturers. I mean, that really is where Kaiser's starting to get a little separation in terms of like if you compared Kaiser to Riot, Wee, and Kaiser, you put those 3 in and pull their premiums and look at the prices, you're going to find that for pretty much all the premiums, Kaiser is around $100, if not more, less than a Wee knife or a Riot. Now, I'm not saying that, that's kind of where the buck stops and everyone has their own opinions to make on that. But I'm telling you, dollar for dollar, quality to quality, everything compared apples to apples, Kaiser Kaiser has an advantage on a lot of the premium manufacturers in China only because their prices are still very, very, very affordable. You know, this could easily be a $225 knife, but it's not. They could charge it and they'd probably sell some. They probably wouldn't have too much trouble selling some just based off the market, but they're not. They're staying a little more true to what they do, and I think that's great, and I think you're going to see these things sell out pretty quick because this has multiple deployment options, which everyone loves. Great front flipper. The blade cutout there's something about this blade cutout. I can't believe how good it looks, even though it's kind of like a triangle compared to, you know, basically half a circle here, but it looks good. So good to kick that blade out. Buttery smooth again, fall shut. Definitely reach around approved. And again, just a nice, solid knife to put in the pocket. Two good grip positions here. Right here is pretty solid, and then up here is also very nice to choke up. Really love this design, and the level of fit and finish is also very good on this. Got a couple little scragglers of micarta fray here on the side of the handle, but other than that, it is spick and span, very clean on this side, and really over time I'm assuming some good patinaing, you won't really see that fray down there that much either. So, you know, it's what it is. But let me know what you guys think of this. What do you think of this inlay design with all the screws in the corners? I don't hate it. I kind of wish it would have been, I don't know how much I like the screws there, but I don't dislike it. And again, for $159, this is a lot of banging quality for $159. Very nice level of quality, fit, and finish. Excellent blade, nice and slicey, beautiful drop point, nice little swedge up there. Home run. The best yet from Jonathan Styles, and he's had some good ones this year. He really has had at least a couple really good ones that come to mind, but this one here easily tops those two. And that's it, guys. That is the Kaiser lineup for September. Fantastic knives coming out at a great time of the year. I'm just happy right now. It's fall, football's back, Kaiser's coming out with banging designs, and Notre Dame football's even pretty good. All is right in the world, in Wayne Sharp world over here. I'm doing good. Let me know what you guys think of these models as well as the L series. We went a little long, but this one was worth it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you find a Kaiser in this lineup that appeals to you, because I sure did. I found a handful of them. Let me know what you guys think of this drop. Let me know how you think Kaiser's doing this year, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.